It's dark out there, but I want to see y'all. Okay, the first reading is CBS 1969 to 1971. All right, that's enough of that. James chapter 1, verse 2. Count it all joy, my brother, when you fall into temptation, or when you fall into trials. I think everybody can agree that 2020 has been one for the records. And it certainly has around our household. But we're leaning on that unchanging hand. So I want to tell you some of the stuff that we've been through this year. And I'm not telling it because of gloom and despair. I could, but I don't live that way. And I refuse to live that way. Okay, back in April, COVID started, I guess, about March when we really started hearing about it. Well, back in April, Shirley got extremely sick. And she was sick for a while and went back and forth to the doctor about 3 times. And we never could get them to give her one of the COVID tests. They always told us that, we don't have enough. But we feel pretty sure that that's what she had. And but she was extremely sick. When she don't get up and clean her kitchen, she's sick. So that's how sick she was. And then everybody knows that Sally come along. So we all got a dose of Sally. And what happened to us is we had several people at the house, but Leanne, my youngest daughter, and Landon and Ian, they were going to stay in the trailer. And we kept saying, no, y'all need to come to the house. They said, well, if it gets bad enough, we will. Well, a big gust of wind came, and she had this trailer that around the garden tub is all mirrors. It's really pretty. Well, it's not anymore because all the mirrors fell into the garden tub. And that was her sign. She said, okay, let's get up and go. So she got Landon and Ian, and they come to the house. And then, we kept hearing trees popping and all kinds of noises outside. And one time we heard one extremely loud. And I went out first to go see what it was. And I went back to the trailer, and I got right to the end of their trailer. By the way, their trailer, they've been in it for 5 months. We thought we were doing the smart thing, and we paid for everything as we went. We paid for the trailer, paid for having it moved, everything. So that when she got through, she wouldn't have no payment. The only thing she would have would be her central air unit. And we didn't get any insurance. So I got to the edge of the trailer, and I seen it, and I just went back and I said, the tree is in the trailer. So in the middle of all of this, they got to go see. So everybody goes over, and the tree had fell through the living room, busted the back side of the trailer wall out, busted the roof in, and another big limb fell across the brand new central air unit and busted the windows out in the kitchen. And so we went back to the house, and everybody was quiet until everybody just busted out squalling, because it hurt. It really did, it hurt. But then I reminded them, look, we're all here. We're not harmed.
Amen.
That's something material that can be replaced.
Amen.
So it kind of smoothed everything over, and we got through it. Of course, everybody, some people fall for FEMA, well, we did too. And we got a little bit, but it's not enough to repair, replace it. We trust in the Lord. I told him, I said, don't fret, don't worry. Everything's going to fall in place. Just like us buying it, setting it up, He worked in every bit of that. Because we had tried for some time, and I said, just keep praying, keep praying. In fact, this trailer that we bought, it sit on the people's property for several months before the money come up for us to be able to move it. But God was working all of that out. And I just kept telling them, just trust, just trust. And I'm going to tell you about this picture in a minute. Right after that, the stove went out. Well, that's more money we got to put out to get the stove fixed. So I was able to get the parts and fix it myself. Oh, and by the way, on the stove, I was digging through some old papers yesterday, and I brought it in, and so Shirley, I said, look at here. She said, what is it? I said, they want us to renew our coverage on the stove. She said, really? I said, well, I didn't know it was covered. But it's not covered anymore now because it's expired. I done fixed it. All right, then Landon, he had a four-wheeler accident. And his mom called me from the hospital and said, he's okay. And I knew he was going to be okay, but the first thing she said was, he's okay. And I was like, what happened? He had an accident on a four-wheeler, but he's going to be okay. She was already calm about it to tell me. But God seen it through, and he was not hurt that bad, and he got over it. But that's another little bump in the road for us for this year. And me telling these stories, I know y'all probably got some of the same stories that you can tell. But this year has really been crazy for us. All right, the next one is that Shirley's Jeep, the battery went dead on it. First we didn't know what it was, it just quit. And we hadn't had any problems with it. And of course we had to have it towed, put in the shop, and that was $500. They had to do some work on it. And then we get it back, and then if we come from our house, we live in Irvington, down behind White House Restaurant, and you come this way, it would stop at least 3 times. And she would pull over the side of the road, put it back in park, and start over, and it would go. If I was driving, I just put it in neutral, keep coasting, and praying, pop it back and drive, and it would go. And we had it in the shop for that. They charged us $1,200, and there was nothing wrong with it. So, anyway, it got so bad that we did go to a dealership, and we traded cars, and the Lord blessed us with something a whole lot nicer, much safer, but it wasn't anything we done. It was the Lord letting us know what to do. You can't drive a car like that. And she got to the point where, well, I'm not going to drive it because if I have to take Mama to the doctor, of course, I don't want to have to pull off the side of the road. And I understood all that. Then, I was coming home from work. I guess it's been 2 weeks ago. I got a mile from the house, and my drive shaft fell out front of my truck. So, I said, what are you going to do? You got to laugh about it. It don't sound funny, but it is funny because it's just one more thing. And in all of these things, you can go back and look, and he was was trying to push us down. Give up. Stop. Give up. You can't do this. You can't trust God. Come on. Well, I knew all along that I could trust God because when I was a small child, my Aunt Marguerite, she took us to Sunday school every Sunday. And she had this hanging in her living room. And she would always teach us, no matter what, He's there. Wherever we go, He's got us. All we've got to do is trust. Now, tell you something else. This is going to be the last thing, and I'll let somebody else come. Back several months ago, I got an email from Premier Medical, and they had a essay contest for free hearing aids. And a lot of you don't know that Shirley has a very hard time hearing. A lot of times if y'all see her or pass by her, she won't even look at you. She won't smile at you. And she won't talk to you. Because she don't hear that well. So it kind of embarrasses her, you know. And that hurts me, you know, because that's my other part of the body, like my body. But I wrote the letter and I sent it in. This is what I said. My wife, Shirley J. Corinne, has hearing problems for a while now. Her mother has worn hearing aids for a long time, so I believe that it could be hereditary. We both have been patients of Premier Medical for many years. Shirley is, well, I'll just tell you that. Shirley's 63. She's a homemaker, and she's still very active. We have lived in the Irvington area all of our lives. And Shirley has worked in seafood, she's worked in medical records, and now she's retired. We have 3 daughters and 7 grandchildren. And I am doing this, writing this letter, because it breaks my heart to see the way that she has trouble understanding our grandkids. Sometimes she just gets mad with her own self and she lashes out at them. Sometimes she'll withdraw and stay to herself and not say a whole lot. Not being able to hear can mess with a lot of things. It can mess with your fun. It can mess with your family. And sometimes it can mess with your worship. So it's important that we're able to hear. And I said, humbly submitted, and I put my name. I wrote that, and then I forgot about it. I just let it go. And about a month ago, I got a call, and it popped up, potential spam, or potential, I think it's what it is, potential spam. And sometimes I'll answer. Well, this time I answered it, and I was glad I did. They told me that Shirley had been awarded a set of hearing aids, valued at the price of $6,000. And from now to the rest of her life, all of her doctor's appointments for hearing aids is paid for. As far as the hearing, she has to put no money out, no copay, no nothing. Everything's paid for. So I praise God, because in the midst of all the gloom and despair and agony on me, He is always there to make a way of escape. And He's always there to bless us and keep us on the right track. Hallelujah. So much. Amen. Come on, give God praise for that. Thank you, Brother Bill. Amen.